Ejected.
With 3 straight wins, Woodville's form has also been very encouraging. But before the opening siren, there was some bad news for the Warriors today. Malcolm Blight was forced to pull out of the game, as well as Steve Jacquia, Scott Blackswell and Terry Booth, and those 4 players had to be replaced. Just looking at the game in the first 3 quarters, it was really goal-for-goal football. But North Adelaide were nowhere near the form that we saw them defeat Norwood last week, while Woodville, despite the loss of those 4 key players, in particular Blight, who kicked 14 straight last week, they fought tooth and nail to stay in the race with the Roosters. At 3-quarter time, we saw North Adelaide in front, and we'll pick up play now at the start of the final quarter. Woodville are 15 goals 7. They're training North Adelaide on 15 goals 15 by 8 points.
Woodville, we could have got just 8 points down in this last quarter. And Graham Campbell just making a comment about the footy triple. It's worth about $40,000 we've just been told. Nearly 41,000. And if Woodville get up, then someone could be in the money. But they beat West Adelaide by 56 points last week, but that was with Malcolm Blight. And the shock here today was Woodville without Malcolm Blight and 3 other players from the squad named in the paper last night after training. North Adelaide have not been able to get the run they did against Norwood last week.
Come on, Woody!
So we see them now in attack for the first time in the quarter. High to Parker and Dietrich from behind. What a mark. And Max Parker will remonstrate with the umpire.
Simmons, who kicked that ball in, Keith. I think that's the first time we've seen him on the ground today, coming off the interchange bench.
He's playing half forward.
So Grenville Dietrich, only 10 metres out. You can see the angle in a moment. So far today, he's kicked 1 in each quarter. And that makes it 4 for the day. North Adelaide are 16 goals 15. Woodville 15-7.
As Rick said, Peter Simmons has just come onto the ground for the first time today, and he had an immediate effect on play. Picked up a loose ball, popped it up in the square. Grenville Dietrich leaning back, takes the mark over Max Parker. Max disputes that mark, but it was there. And it is Grenville Dietrich's 4th goal for the day. 1 a quarter is not a bad average.
So North Adelaide go 14 points clear as McLeod wins the knock for Woodville, but Antrobus picks it up, holding the ball. Yes, it is. And Haylock will take it for Woodville. Boom it over the half-forward line. Beecroft's had a good day, but Arnold that time from the back managed to get the more of the ball. Wildy can't grab it. Macrath reads it off the pack, and it skids off the side of his boot, just inbounds. Bounces out, so the throw-in the pocket for Woodville.
Brett Macrath's had a few shots at goal today. Something of a live wire in the Woodville forward line. He's kicked 3 goals, but a couple of opportunities have gone wayward. Have to have about 15 players around this throw-in. Schwartz got the tap. Arnold tries to find a bit of space, has it knocked out of his hands, and we'll see a repeat of the throw-in in that left forward pocket for the Warriors. Trailing North Adelaide is Malcolm Blight out of today's game. No doubt pondering the outcome. He'd love to see the Warriors win this one and stay in the 5.
Beecroft against Redden that time. There's a pick-up by Fuller. Oh, he might have pinged it. He's got it. That's a good one for Woodville to get. They're 16-7, just 8 points behind North Adelaide.
Well, Ron Fuller, was it? By gee, you can't do much better than that. He's caught in his wrong foot. And as I said earlier in the day, he's an opportunist. He's a man that makes the most out of the opportunities he creates for himself. And he's popped for a left-foot goal, running away from the goals. And that drags Woodville, as Rick said, 8 points close to the north. They're doing well.
3-minute mark of the final quarter. Huge crowd here for the double header. Seeing an interesting game of football as Andrew Jarman takes it out of centre for the Roosters. High kick will find Brearley. I think it's the first time we've seen him on the ground, so North Adelaide have brought both of their players off the interchange bench for this final quarter. They need some drive. Nothing like the side of last week. Dietrich, the late fly. Off hands, Lindsay Heaven. His handball smothered. Parker runs into Antrobus. Brick wall, Haylock.
Haylock's quick kick comes out wide to the grandstand, but there's Phillips. Brenton Phillips. Wingmen have had a big influence on the game, getting a lot of goals for North Adelaide today, and Phillips puts this one in for a fly from the back by Brearley. Doesn't come off. Pick up by Campbell. Flicked it off the boot. Sunk it onto the boot beautifully. North Adelaide 17-15, Woodville 16-7.
He's a top player, Matthew Campbell. He's an opportunist, and he knows what to do when he gets hold of the ball. He's a great kicker of the football, and he found the space between the big sticks. So I'm just working out the changes in the North Adelaide side. They've taken Michael Parsons and the second rower Darryl Hart off the ground and replaced both forward pockets with Brearley and Simmons. So that's the injection that Michael Noonan wants to put into the side, and it's had some effect, I guess you could say.
We've seen 3 goals in 4.5 minutes of play in this final quarter. Redden won the tap. Bennett used his body well. He's got recovery, and the ball now goes backwards towards Trevor Hill. He makes space out wide to Jarman. Jarman sells the dummy and bangs it onto the left boot. Up forward. Late fly, and got it high. Pay that one. Fearless, this little rover for North Adelaide. Former Magarey medal winner. Had that shocking run of injury last year with that wrist. You can see it heavily strapped today. And he shouldn't miss this. 15 metres out, directly in front. And he pops it through for his 4th. At North Adelaide are 18 goals, 15. Woodville 16-7.
And hasn't he made a difference to the 1985 North Adelaide compared to the 84 edition? He really is. Equal to anything the league's got to offer. I guess I'd say John Platten about half head in front of him, but he's a great little rover. And there's a classic example of what he's all about. Sensational to mark overhead, and he finished it off with his 3rd goal for the game. And well, they're getting a grip on the match now, North, but by George, Woodville are to be commended for their effort today.
20 points in front, North Adelaide. Redden wins it. Through comes Jarman. There's Brearley. And all of a sudden, North Adelaide looked like they might wrap it up, as we expected they might have about 3.5 quarters ago. But Woodville will certainly not let them do that, as the growing crowd has seen today. That ball neutralised right in the pocket. Max Parker tries to pick it up, can't do so. Andrews again, turns back in, got legged, moves it on, ducks and weaves round Parker, pops it into Dietrich, taking it in the square. He's got body strength. Get 2 against him. The big arms go up.
Look at the North Adelaide players crowding around Tony Antrobus for the pat him on the head for that little effort. Well, it was a superhuman effort, actually.
And Tim McLeod, the ruckman for Woodville, comes off. As Dietrich sinks his 5th goal, and North Adelaide scoot away. 19-15, Woodville 16-7.
And Grenville Dietrich, rightly so, goes forward to thank Tony Antrobus for that goal. It was, as I said a couple of seconds ago, a superhuman effort from the little ant. He went this way, that way, didn't know which way to go in the final analysis of things, but got a quick kick to the ball. And Grenville Dietrich marked between 2 Woodville players, and he now kicks his 5th goal for the game. And one just senses there might be an avalanche of goals coming up for North now to finish this game off in the way a good side should.
Coach Malcolm Blight is drastically making some changes to his side. Max Parker has gone into ruck. He's gone off Dietrich. Could be Michael Fuller or Rogers at full back.
Might even be David Butterworth
at the moment. Parker in ruck anyway against Redden. Harris. Wild kick, had an airy. Thought it'd be a little throw to Jarman, smothered off the boot. Picked up by Schwarz. Opportunity now for Woodville. Heaney. Can they come back? They've done so all day. Kick doesn't cover much territory and falls in the arms of Armfield.
Michael Armfield, half-back flanker. Had a lead from Clisby on the grandstand side, but goes out the other side. Jarman's got a bit more room. Sewer's on him, though. To Tiller.
Oh, well done.
From Schwarz at the back. And Woodville deep into attack now. Beecroft in the square. Tries the one-hander. Doesn't come off. Tries to pick it up. Recovery, though. Stephen Riley. To Clisby. Clisby on the half-back flank. Steadies things up. Colin McDonald against him. That was Alex Lunn, who's playing his first game. Diving mark by John Riley. Bit of attention from Simon Heaney. Umpire has a look at it. No 15 metres.
Academy Award to John Riley. Over centre wing looking for Mike Redden against Parker. Redden the grab. This will almost be 15. He plays it on quickly to David Tiller. Tiller to Brenton Phillips. Away goes Brenton Phillips. Straightens the body. Lines up the woodwork. Flapped by Dietrich in the goal square, and that's another one to North Adelaide. They're racing away now. 20 goals, 15. Woodville 16-7.
The North Adelaide wingers have a great propensity for kicking goals. And once again, Brenton Phillips, in tandem with Trevor Hill, have kicked 6 goals between them in today's game. And I would hazard to say we've had 11 or 12 shots for goal on that, during the course of the day's play. And they certainly are productive wingmen, both boys.
Well, North Adelaide have certainly taken charge in this last quarter. From an 8-point lead, they go out to a 32-point break now. And we're just 9.5 minutes in. North into attack again. Favours, the bounce favours them. Comes Campbell. Campbell onto the right boot. There's another one. Put the glasses down. Campbell's fourth. North Adelaide 21-15. Woodville 16-7.
The Warriors have been under strength. Tried hard and valiantly for 3 quarters. Beecroft on another lead. Arnold, he'll take off, keep running. Runs his full 15 and goes out wide. 2-on-1 out here. Andrew Jarman. Got a loose player running past on the outer side. He fakes and dummies and pulls it back onto the left boot up towards full forward, but it's all Michael Fuller.
Michael Fuller from the full-back position. He went there after a change to bring Max Parker into ruck. Woodville now to the grandstand wing. Ball bounces nicely for Mackworth. Gets himself in and out of bother. Woodville, a couple of players to choose from.
Butterworth's kick right to the pocket area. Fuller called for it, then didn't go for it as Arnold comes through for North Adelaide. Starting to rebound a lot better now, Paul Arnold. Robertson. Oh, he's off.
He was off. 21-minute mark as Robertson gets another life. 2 against 1. McDonald couldn't get that ball coming out of the pack. Chiller with it now, the captain of North Adelaide. Puts it down. Not exactly a well
shining example of where to kick the ball.
Fuller looking for Ralph Sewer. Haven't seen a lot of Ralph Sewer in the second half of this game. To Lindsay Heaven. Well, he's a long way out of defence, Lindsay. He'll go for a run. Balks gets the handball to Simon Heaney. Heaney loose. He'll line up and have a shot. Looks good off the boot. It is. Simon Heaney's got a goal. That's his first for the day. Woodville are 18 goals 7. Still trailing North on 22 goals 19.
Well, that was a neat passage of play, and I've said this all day about Woodville. They've worked the ball between the lines exceptionally well on occasions, and that was another one where Ralph Sewer came into the play, popped the hand pass over. It finally finished up in Simon Heaney's hands, and Simon balked the player coming to meet him, and chip shot, lovely goal. A very neat goal, which was Woodville's 18th. And they've kicked exceptionally well today. 18 goals, 7 from 25 shots at goal. Can't do much better than that. But they're still in arrears by some 36 points.
The 22-minute mark of the final quarter. And North Adelaide, 6 goals clear. But it's Robert Muir on the half-back line for Woodville, who kicks the ball over centre. Not going to go too far, though, because Michael Armfield, dropped the sitter, manages to recover. Get the ball clear to Clisby. Clisby comes out wide for Tiller. Tiller decides to, well, no, he doesn't. He plays on quickly from the grandstand side. Running back. There's a courageous mark. It's Lindsay Heaven. Stole the ball effectively off the North Adelaide attack. His kick is not flash. So the ball out of bounds in front of the coach's box, or at least one of the trainer's boxes, at the half-forward line. And North Adelaide are in attack. 6 goals clear at the moment, 23 minutes gone. Chiller. Out to Jarman. Jarman's met heavily. Robertson. Now it's Hill, the winger. He moves it on. Is that Simmons?
Matthew Campbell.
It's Matthew Campbell, who looks like he's got one. Indeed he has. North Adelaide now, 23-19. Woodville, 18-7.
Matthew Campbell's 5th goal for the game. He's only played half a game in the forward line. Well, not quite half a game, because this last quarter is not finished yet. That's his 5th goal, which will be a perplexing thought for the North selectors next week to decide whether to play him forward of centre or half-back line. I really felt he's starting to become a very dashing half-back, but here he is, 5 goals in this game, and it's helped North to revitalise this last half.
Almost approaching full time of the final quarter. Back in the centre, we've got McLeod against Redden. Redden the tap down to Jarman. Jarman booms another one up forward. All the settle fancy Dietrich. He plays it to Simmons. Over towards Bennett.
Muir recovers though. Muir stole that. Oh, his kick has gone very wide. Too wide for McDonald. So the ball out of bounds. Round towards the pocket position for the Roosters.
He's done a fair job in defence today, Robert Muir. It's one of his few times he hasn't found somebody with the ball also when he's gained possession.
Throw in. Muir. Handball, and Woodville will come out of defence. Cross centre wing. Over the head of Armfield and Butterworth. Redden close to being out of bounds. It is now surely no, still in play. Brenton Phillips charges away with it. Handballs to no man's territory. Jarman.
Oh, good steal.
Read by McDonald.
Colin McDonald read that beautifully. His kick's not so accurate. Stephen Riley's brought down.
What a tackle.
Macris had a fine game. Epitomised by that tackle. You'd think Riley was away, but not in Macris' mind. He kicks it high, looking for Schwarz in front, takes it. No, it's Fuller. It's Ron Fuller. So Ron Fuller about 40 metres out. Pretty well dead in front.
Going through his fifth.
And Woodville have certainly not given it away. North got a very quick break on and have kicked 8 goals in the quarter. But Woodville have come back. And Ron Fuller would certainly want another one, and he has. So Woodville, they pick up their 4th goal for the quarter. They're 19-7. North 23-19.
Woodville fans couldn't be disappointed with today's performance. They've gone into the game without their champion and coach Malcolm Blight. Their top little centre-line players, Stephen Jackria, Scott Blaxall, the centre-half back, and the new Rover boy, Terry Booth. And yet they've battled hard all day to stay within reach of North Adelaide, and that's their 19th goal. And to kick 19 goals and lose a game is a pretty hard pill to swallow, but that's what's going to happen. They might even kick 20 and still lose the game, because North have kicked 23 goals, 19.
Into time on. McLeod and Redden. Chance there for Haylock. Concedes ground, goes back to Robert Muir. Muir onto the right boot. Short kick, picks out Ron Fuller, who just kicked that last goal. He thought about playing on.
15.
Brenton Phillips, the offender for North Adelaide, and Fuller goes towards centre half forward position, picks out Haylock. Gary Haylock, only a good 30 metres out, directly in front. So far today, he hasn't managed to find the big white sticks.
That's because he's not resting in the forward line, Ricky. Changes
running
off the fence. Yeah, and doesn't give him much chance to score goals if he plays in and around the centre all day.
Looks a good kick, and that's home for Gary Haylock's first. And Woodville have made 20. They're 20 goals, 7. North Adelaide 23-19.
Well, I must be psychic. I said a moment ago they might kick 20 goals and lose the game, and they certainly have. They've now kicked their 20th goal, and I don't really go along with this changing the Rovers off the bench. I think it's not a good tactic, because a Rover needs to be warm and part of the match all the time, and changing out of the pocket also gives them a chance to kick goals. But if they did that, it meant Brett Macris wouldn't be up in the pocket, and he's kicked a bag of goals today, resting up there, or playing up there, 3 to be exact. Had a hand in many others, so it's a catch-22 situation.
Almost the 28-minute mark, and North Adelaide will remain undefeated at the top of the ladder after 4 games, but not without a great game from Woodville. John Riley moves it on to Hill. Hill turns in towards the middle. His kick comes a bit unstuck. I think he might have been looking for Antrobus. Nice tap on by Muir. Here comes Heaney. Heaney's kick out wide, finds the body.
Butterworth plays it on. Back to Simon Heaney. Heaney booms it right to the edge of the square. Looking for Beecroft. He's got it now. Makes some room. In fact, I think he finally made it into a droppy. He's offline. A point to Woodville. 20 goals, 8 they are at North Adelaide 23-19.
And Big Bob's kicked 5 today, but not one in this quarter, which is Marty's record somewhat. He's kicked the goal in every quarter up to this point in time, but that was his golden opportunity, and it's gone begging.
He's had 5 more shots than that too, so Bob Beecroft's had plenty of looks at the goal in this game. There's a good mark in the pack.
Brenton Phillips.
So Brenton Phillips will settle things down for North Adelaide.
Dominated the wings today, North have.
North Adelaide's only frenetic burst, which we've become used to in their games, came in the first half of this final quarter. Other than that, it's been goal for goal with Woodville all day.
Matthew Campbell's little kick found Ralphie Sewer, and he'll go short. Stabs one to Butterworth in the square. He's going to drive long. Beecroft on the lead now. It's where he's heading it to. He's got a yard on Arnold. He gives him a little push to help him along the way. So Bob Beecroft can have another shot for goal and maybe make it 6 for the day. Right knee heavily bandaged. The angle about 45 degrees. In fact, if he manages to slot this, this will be Woodville's highest losing score against dear old North Adelaide. He hasn't got it now. Chance for Haylock. There it is. Got it, and there it is. Woodville have got 21 goals, 8. North Adelaide 23-19, and that's the highest losing score Woodville have kicked against North since they met at Prospect back in '75 when Woodville kicked 20-11. In the fine effort there by Woodville, considering they were under strength. North Adelaide came away with the premiership points, however, by 29 points. The final scoreline, North